Hello students, do you recognize anyone in these pictures? I'm sure Charlie Chaplin is the most recognizable face here. Yes, he is the man who made us laugh and laugh. But then who is the lady next to him? It's his wife, Oona, 36 years junior to him. And that made her father really angry. So, the man we see in the third picture is the father of Oona, Eugene O'Neill. So, today I will tell you about Eugene O'Neill. He was considered the first American dramatist to regard the stage as a literary medium. He was realistic and frank, and that made him win his Nobel Prize. He is the only American playwright to have won 4 Pulitzer Prize and introduced psychological and social realism to the American stage. He was among the earliest to use American vernacular and to focus on characters marginalized by society. He was the first US playwright to take drama seriously as an aesthetic and intellectual form. Let me tell you one more important aspect of his writing. He was always driven by an autobiographical impulse, trying to explode the rage of his repressed world, specifically his family's tortured relationships. You know, students, what I'm really emphasizing on is his writing symmetry, need for pity, guilt, fury, despair. These are great themes of Eugene's writings. Let me tell you something about his childhood. Firstly, he was born in a hotel in 1888 in Times Square. His father, James O'Neill, was a famous and popular actor known for his touring production of Count of Monte Cristo. Eugene spent his early years backstage with his mother and older brother. He never had a home like you and me. And let me tell you, students, that laid a deep impact in his mind. He died also in a hotel. Just imagine if we had no home to go back to. Predictably enough, O'Neill went on a self-destructive journey, consoling himself with alcohol, narcotics, and prostitutes. He was diagnosed with tuberculosis pretty soon and was sent to a sanatorium. And it was actually there that he started writing. He became a fine thinker and a writer in the solitude where he had ample time. Psychological and moral pain created spiritual and social dilemmas. See, just imagine your small problems and how annoyed we become when our small wishes and desires are not fulfilled. Imagine the depravity Eugene O'Neill had to go through, and yet he became a dramatist to win a Nobel Prize. Let me now tell you something about his dramas. The peep into his personal life is endless, and Eugene's major works were produced between 1920 to 1943. There were about 20 long plays. Believe me, students, he wrote and rewrote many of his manuscripts half a dozen times before he was satisfied, and he filled shelves of notebooks with research notes, outlines, play ideas, and other memoranda. The first full-length play in which Eugene O'Neill successfully evoked the starkness of his own life was Desire Under the Ems. Though he drew inspiration from the Greek themes of incest, infanticide, fateful retribution, he framed the story in the context of his own family conflict, the story of a lustful father, a weak son, and an adulterous wife who murders her infant son, was written with a fine disregard for the conventions of the contemporary Broadway theatre. Because of the sparseness of style, its avoidance of melodrama, and its total honesty of emotion. The play was acclaimed immediately as a powerful tragedy and has continued to rank among the great American plays of the 20th century. Students, I want you to understand not only the style and life of Eugene O'Neill, but also that he brought pure realism into drama. His dramas appeared very fresh because they gave a true picture of what was actually happening in the American society of that time, and yet nobody dare spoke about it. Let me now tell you about another drama, The Hairy Ape. It is about a beastly looking laborer called Yank, who prides in his muscular strength. He works on a transatlantic ocean liner. He and his men work hard, shoveling coal in the noisy stockhole, when they suddenly come across Mildred, the owner's daughter, who had never seen such a beastly character in her entire life. She faints, and when she recovers, she calls him filthy and hairy ape. Yank is shocked too by Mildred's reaction to see him as a human and not beast. Doesn't these kind of things happen with us too? We get attached to unkind words of our friends and somehow start believing in them. Yank was a human too, but he forgot and started looking for a sense of belonging and identification. He finally finds an ape with whom he identifies himself. He feels both are alike, caged and taunted, and familiar features like brothers. Yank releases the gorilla from his cage and approaches the ape to shake hands. The gorilla springs on Yank and crushes him to death. So students, to conclude, what do we learn from the life and writings of Eugene O'Neill? Death, loss, grief and pain are inescapable in plays of Eugene. If we apply them in our lives and see, all of us will have to face these harsh realities at some point in our lives. The society that we live in is defined by self-delusion and deceit. Psychological and moral pain creates spiritual and social dilemmas. O'Neill carved his Colossus out of American granite. He received Pulitzer and Nobel Prize for his plays, which are hard and obdurate. Hope you enjoyed knowing about a Nobel laureate and his style and what he left for us to understand. Bye for now.